What the fuck is wrong with Idaho? Idaho young adults. I'm serious. Right now, I'm kind of holding down my own word because otherwise it's just hurtful. Look, I've been here living in Idaho since 1999. I grew up here. And once I left the town that I grew up in, that was the next stage to this acceptance, this legal pronunciation of becoming a part of the next group of young adults. What the heck is happening here in Idaho? Look, I have much to my thoughts. And this includes thinking about, look, Lucas is out there in the Meridian area. He grew up there. He's a level felon for drug dealing a specific type of drug that paralyzed. And this was during the time that he was selling to a kid that was still in high school. And me listening to his story while he's living with Stephen Davenport, for all of you in the Meridian area who also know about the Davenports. And apparently Stephen joining the military is the only reason that the Davenports are holding on to being seen as a normal form of human interaction. Otherwise, it's just the only known for practically being criminals and breaking the law. And, well, I guess if they keep on doing that, then it just goes and it's pushed into the dirty side of the military. But seriously, like, what the heck is happening? Because there I am. At this time in my life, I'm homeless because rent is $500 and it's $500 in the Meridian area for one bedroom that I'm rarely there at because my life is extremely busy and I am driving back and forth between towns or city towns, and I'm barely using the room with the other roommates, besides showing up at the last minute of the night to fall asleep and get up and then go, and I'm busy. So I don't continue that because I had a bunch of stuff happen and I had to refigure out what job I wanted to continue and if I needed a job, because I was also taking care of my mom and spending time with my mom before she passed away with stage 4 cancer, breast cancer. And so, Steven had always been like, hey, you can always stay here. My door's always open. If there's space here, then just crash here or stay here. I'm not asking you for rent. Just find a place. And so that's what I did. I moved in. I don't really have much to what I own because I took a minimalistic route just because I don't have a stable home mortgage lifestyle while I'm going to school, paying for loans, taking care of my mom, taking care of my career, taking care of my family, form of getting together, taking care of friends and that social life, social network, so on, so on, so on. And so I don't have that time to create that form of stability. And so, I'm like, okay, all right, well, you know me, I don't really have much to my home style, which is perfect because I can just show up and here's what I have. And he's like, all right, that's fine. And so at that time, he's still living with his friend Lucas, who is not really paying rent. He's living out of Stephen Davenport's closet on the second floor in his room. And Lucas is there crashing, and it's been about a year. They had another roommate named Santos who roomed there for a bit and left for vacation, and I guess something happened because he just practically left the room and never came back. And so, yeah, it was kind of like a quick room to just stay in, like nothing too personal about him besides maybe like his name taped on the wall and some like everything in there is practically not really his. Like, it's all just trash. So he's just using it to crash. And so Lucas is there still, and it's been over a year, and so Steven has become a good friend with Lucas, and obviously just being, guy to guy to guy to guy. And so so during that time, I'm getting to know Lucas. I've known Steven outside of his own personal day-to-day home life, but enough to know Steven. And so so this is where I'm like, I guess the modern term would be tripped up because once again, I'm 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 new there. I'm getting to know Lucas, who I have been avoiding that whole year because Steven's like, come hang out with us, and I'm like, no, I've got other things way more important. But during that time, I'm I'm like, oh well, yeah, I'll listen to your story. Like what happened, and so Lucas, right? He's opening up to his story about being a felon, and Steven's at work, and so like he he knocks on the bathroom door because I'm in there, and I was there practically going through my feelings, and so he knocks on the door, and I let him in, and I'm like, well, we can both sit here on the floor and just talk about everything that's going on. And so then he's like, oh yeah, I got caught with this crime. And so he tells me, about him selling and feeling really bad about paralyzing this high schooler, and that he's on this last strike where if he gets caught with something, pretty drastic for here, Idaho, drug dealing, weed selling, rape, stealing, who knows, selling again, besides weed dealing or weed selling. And so he tells me all this, and I, as the person once again with the outlook of, whoa, okay, well, you sound honest. That must mean that you are being a better person. You learned from everything that you went through with that felon charge, and you're a better person. And Steven has had you here for over a year, and he doesn't seem to think that you are, out there trying to kill someone. And so, so I trust Lucas. And so this is what the fuck I'm saying, is that trust led to, well, if you guys are around here in the Meridian, Twin Falls, Boise, Jerome, all that area, you guys know that you guys are super chill. Super, super chill when it comes to weed, THC substances, like much more than any other part of Idaho. And so, both of them are just the same as the people that are okay with weed. And so I'm not a smoker. I'm not a casual sometimes smoker. Like I'm just not. But I've been with friends, right, that are in the social hour, and like I've become this, oh, it's kind of funny because even walking in and getting that secondhand smoke, you instantly kind of just pass out. Like, it just gets you. And then we find it fascinating because we have very, very, like, we have, we no longer have a tolerance that can easily, you know, get one of them high like that. And so, and then they're like, so just like, just by smelling it and that, like, it just kind of just makes us laugh a little. And so so you know um during those years, I've just been a very accepted person, because they're like, you still socialize. We don't really get upset or angry that this is around. You know enough of the politics of current research, seeing what things help with muscle relaxation, and more like the sciencey health part of this THC world. And at that time, like, I don't smoke, I don't dab, but during my years with Madison, who was my best friend in the Meridian area, she taught me how to inhale. And so at times, right, like like to complete the social interaction, if there is a person like a friend, Madison, or at the times that I trusted Corbin or Madison, and who else? Or Kinsey Williams, and or Kinsey Williamson. And so I don't know, it's like giving each family the what's it called? It's like a social respect thing, because all of them are family of business. So you have Corbin Griffin, you got the Griffins, you got Kenzie Williamson, the Williamson family, and Madison Beach, you got the Beach family. And all of them are business families. And so me joining in is like, they know it's super nice manners of me to just like say like, oh, okay, I'll take that one, what do they call it, like the one like a token, like they don't call it a puff anymore or something. And so then afterwards they're like, yeah, we know, because later on, 5 minutes later, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna find your couch and then I'm gonna go to sleep. And so then they think it's like extra manners because I'm falling asleep, and I trust the interaction, right? Because there's still that stigma. I mean, they may be business people and they may be science health people, but there's still that stigma based on crimes. And so with Lucas, I'm like, oh my God, dang. Yeah, it seems like you're trying to really be that better person. And it makes me angry because that leads to trusting, and that leads to being friends. And so that leads to broken down walls. And so, after 1, 2, 3 sessions of just hanging out inside his room closet, then, it turns into, okay, let's hang out again. We'll put on a online video game session with everybody else, or we'll watch Netflix and pick a show or something and just kind of just hang out and talk like always. I mean, it's a small space, but it works. And so, after 1, 2, 3 sessions and everything's good, by the 4th time, especially with, him still being like, yeah, I still smoke and I sell a little, but, just to help a friend out and get my $20. And then, then later on, him being like, oh my gosh, I recently went to Oregon and I brought something that is supposed to be much better than anything you can get here in Idaho. And so, he's like, oh, well, I want to share it with you because you're a cool person. And so then, we get into the normal routine of like just finding something on Netflix. And then he's like, okay, well, here's some of this. It's better than anything you can find here. And so I'm like, oh, cool. Well, still the small amount, as usual. Like, yeah, I'm not really a person to take any of that. And so then I don't know what the tolerance thing is. And then it hits me much stronger than the time before. And so then that means a lot more loss in consciousness and motor skills. And it is dab form of my body not being able to react. And it's they called it a cadaver. A stale cadaver is what later on, or before that, I don't know, I wasn't really making connections here, but just through toning out a bunch of Stephen and Lucas's typical military talk. And so, or video game talk with, what's it called? Co-op. Oh, not co-op. What's it called? That video game, that shooting video game. And so, well, anyways, so yeah, so now I am losing that ability to move, react. And so, less than a minute later, to have Lucas find that super attractive. And then he's like saying stuff in my ear that I can't really register, and then is on my neck, and then I can't really react besides, the mumbling, and then have that turn him on, and then later, like less than a minute later, have his fingers inside my vagina, and then creating a sensation there, and me having to go through a lot of like self-hatred, because self-hatred is nicer than the actual feeling of having your body react to that, the motion, the sensation, because it is placed in a sexual reaction. And then to pat myself in the back and be proud of myself for freaking out enough to heighten my body to react more, and thankful that I didn't smoke more so that I could get up and out before he could put in his what is it called, his happy penis. So for that to happen, and then have me go to the closet room downstairs that I'm staying in, fall asleep, and then later on being placed into an awkward trophy status because now Lucas is behaving confident and like he got something, and Steven, still a young man and good friends with Lucas, still going through his own level of jealousy with whatever they have going on, or had been going on for years. I mean, for the year. And so that next time when Lucas is at work, and both of them work at the Meridian McDonald's right next to Rocky Mountain High School on Linder, and yeah, the one right next to Fred Meyer's, right on the corner. And for Steven to have the day off, and then later on, I'm out of the closet room, and I want to go say hi and, just be friends, because I'm not really going to share what happened with Steven, because, is a little traumatic and embarrassing. And then for Steven to affirm that Lucas did something, like he got what he wanted by being like, dang, I was left out of the party. And me being like, what are you talking about? That's not really the reaction that I want from you. And then for him to be like, oh, really? Would you have preferred this? And then for him to like go up to me and then bring down both of his hands so that he grabs my ass. Sorry, that's just the terms. If I said butt, it wouldn't really have the same effect. And then to hold it there and then kind of laughing because it scares me and I don't turn aggressive. Like, I'm in a scared, shocked space. So I'm not someone to push away. I'm there scared until he's done. So, I'm just like, okay, well, there's one of your military guys, Idaho. What the heck is going on? I mean, if from the referrals from the people that I've met say that Stephen Davenport, as myself would have said, is a good guy. Me knowing him through work. So, what the heck is going on with your personal inside door time? Because not only those two, but now you have someone like Raven Osterstein, who is also from a business rich family here in Twin Falls, originally from Germany, and except for her mom from Mexico, and she married Raven's father, a German. And so then they had Raven, and then Raven seems to have had problems with Brian, who she married cried a lot because he had to leave for military training in Houston, and was really good friends with me because she met me in college and we were good study friends, classmates. We didn't get the chance to have because she was a year under mine, and she's still older than me, and she kept that part about her, being like, hey, yeah, like, you're mature for your age, and you sometimes are much more mature than me, but, as much as I know, everyone sees her and believes that she is very mature for her age. And so, I trust that. And then for her to have a movie night with me watching Tiffany, one of her favorite women, business women in the world, and for me to be cut off guard and reawoken because I'm in the middle of falling asleep, for her to force sex on me. Because apparently going through the cheating that I went through with my long-term first girlfriend, Alexandria Fry, who also is the same age as me, and both of us met in the College of Southern Idaho through different friends, and we started dating. She asked me to marry her. So now she's a fiance, I'm her fiance. And then she cheats on me after she used me for sex, including this Twin Falls, Boise trend of having your specific significant other or playmate or twin flame wear a foxtail, and not a fake one, but one that is fox and has a metal ball ending that still has to go through. And I'm not the dominant one. I don't control. I believe in respect and having discipline in your life and growing up with morals to respect other people. And so I don't have that skill to be dominant. So that puts me in the spot of receiving. So now, I have Raven on me, and later on, because she's like, we're both, they left us. They left us. And it doesn't matter how good you look, because you know that I take pride in my looks, is what Raven says. And then she's like, and you should too, because Alexandria disrespected your whole physical person, treating you as if you were uglier than any of the other girls that she started talking to, and the girl that she physically cheated with while being your fiance. And so, now there's Raven also saying, hey, and don't forget about me, because I'm in a lot of pain too. And then for that turn into a emotional manipulation scenario, because I'm hurting, my heart is hurting, it feels like it's about to fall off, and my body is in pain, and my mind hurts. And so she wants to really alleviate that by forcing my focus onto her into something that is creating a service, a good service feeling, so that she can say, retell me retell me, hey, remember when I told you even in high school, I never allowed any of the lesbian or bisexual girls to ever consider that they could be close to me in this way. And for Raven to say that I'm her ride or die, and that I'm her miracle anchor, and that she can talk to me about her adventure personality, and then, still wants to have this relationship with me that I'm opposed to. And I ask her later, like, what's wrong with being open about this relationship? And for her to say, I can't talk to you about this. You need to not be in my life if you're going to be that person. And me being like, I don't understand, because that was a lot of intimate sexual sounds that mimic someone that is in love. And that includes me recalling you asking me afterwards, after sex, to have me, if I could, for me to tell her that I loved her. She asked me for that, and I couldn't. And then she's asking me that it's an important step for her to feel better, even though then later on she says that she understands if I can't, because I'm going through a lot myself, and that makes her trust me more because I'm being open and honest and genuine with her about the state of my emotions and the state of everything that I'm going through, including an ex-fiance that is still having these sexual experiences with this new chick named Leah, because Alexandria Fry still has my number, and while I'm at my part-time job at the Super 8 hotel here in Twin Falls, I'm receiving text messages of Alex and Leah together sexually, and Alex's face smirky, and then telling me to have a nice day. There aren't many geos here in Idaho. I can possibly count 3 that I personally know, and one of them includes me. And I, as I can recall, am the only female. The only female geo here in Idaho. And I haven't been respected in any of those situations. Not from a woman and not from a man. So I don't know. What is that? Premature rape? Or adults figuring out their tough, mature feelings because if you guys know Corbin Griffin, well, I guess, is it respect when he has you put on a favorite rapper shirt? So that he can enjoy sex. So that the next day he can tell you that it was a mistake. And I still have to go buy the after pill because he stated that he didn't want to wear a condom because it didn't really promote the natural feelings. And then it's not just like the typical penis penetration. Then it's an oral thing. Because I don't know what sex is with a guy. I don't know what that is. And Corbin thinks that also is a positive thing because then he knows that I feel safer and will agree to having him use his fingers instead of the other boy body parts, with him still asking me to sit on his face. And that recalling the things that Alexandria Fry used to have me do for her. And me putting all of that into the portion of the relationship that respects the other person, because I'm still new to a relationship and I'm new to having a place of my own, an apartment, or a dorm room that I share with Alexandria before moving into the apartment and learning how to put a little home together, and then moving on to an apartment that's bigger, and now I have to figure out how to build a home there because I have that certain background as a religious Latina. You know, the household thing, like cooking, cleaning, paying bills, attending appropriate, intimate time to have conversation, and then me being new to the reactions of people that are not religious but meet political, what they call themselves, justice, modern justice people. That's why my career field is under humanitarian. It's not just under language communication. It's under humanitarian because it's under underprivileged people. How much more justice can you get when your client can't hear? And I'm out there looking for maturity, and all these examples talk the maturity, and then on their personal time with me start behaving in these mature behaviors, and then I have to be left alone to have time to go back and think that it wasn't mature, and then figure out my own feelings because I'm left with mixed feelings of a lot of investment of each person giving their time to me and telling me how much they trust me for being this level. I don't have a dominant voice. I don't have a dominant voice with them because each time I'm going through a lot of difficult stuff, a lot of difficult things in my life. And after they accept me like this because they say that I'm mature for who I am and my age, then they start asking for my dominant voice. Because my non-dominant voice then becomes a boring person. They just get tired of me. Then it just looks like I'm this clingy person who also cleans up after them and then asks for too much because I'm more cleaner than they are. And then I become that naggy person. And then they see me as a problem that also they don't really want to get rid of because I just have so much to give. And then some of them have already shared a few pictures online or with friends in their social media or text messages of hanging out with this person. And it seems like all of them really care about their social communication and their social networking and their social community in real life.